Julius Malema applauds Ibrahim Traore for taking a stand against France.
Malema said this in his speech at the launch of the Pan-African Institute at Kenya University, Kenya.
Hello guys, welcome once again to Think Tank TV, where we bring you thought-provoking discussions on political events. In today's video, we delve into an interesting development involving Julius Malema and Ibrahim Traore. Before we begin, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to stay updated with our contents. Julius Malema, the outspoken South African political figure and leader of the economic freedom fighters, expressed his thoughts for Ibrahim Traore, commending him for taking a bold stance against France. Now let's explore the details of this situation and Malema's perspective. Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkinafaso, made headlines when he embarked on some key developmental projects. This incident caught the attention of Julius Malema, who is known for his strong views on global politics. Julius Malema took to the media to applaud Ibrahim Traore's action, stating that the development of Africa and Africans cannot be overemphasized. Malema's remark has sparked a debate, with some supporting his stance and others questioning the appropriateness of his comments. Now let's analyze the different perspectives of this issue. Some argue that Malema has always been on point on his perspectives on the issues of Africa, while others believe that he is not necessarily biased in his analysis. The intersection of politics and sports has always been a contentious space, and this incident is no exception. According to PLO Lumumber, the division of Africa is what makes the West thrive. Now let's hear from Julius Malema.
We must be careful of French-sponsored coups in Africa, where we think there is a revolution taking place in Guinea-Conakry, only to find that there is a French puppet who seeks to replace those who were there before. There is nothing revolutionary about the Guinea-Conakry coup. We ought to separate that there can never be a revolutionary coup that reinforces French imperialism on African soil. Anyone who comes into political office under the pretense that they are fighting a French puppet while knowing they are the French puppet themselves must be isolated by progressive Pan-Africanists. All French soldiers and military must leave the African continent, and this also should apply to neo-colonial military bases, including the African Command Center of the USA. We don't want the army of America, we don't want the army of France here, we don't want the army of anyone. We want African army on African soil. The Pan-Africanist Institute should therefore provide ideological, political and technical weapons to all progressive forces of the African continent to fight against colonialism.
The EFF leader then said Africa needs one standing army to fight the wars sponsored by countries seeking to distract us with fighting so they can plunder our resources, before touching on greedy African dictators and the need to unite the continent against neocolonialism and exploitation.
We need African Central Bank. We need African Monetary Zone. We need African military combat, because these pockets of wars that are happening in Africa are not of our own making. They are sponsored wars, so that those who continue to steal our resources can do so uninterrupted as we fight amongst ourselves. So we need a military, a common defense system, the African High Command that will ensure the stability and security of Africa. We equally need a binding African court to deal with dictators who only exist in Africa to feed their friends and families. Those people must be prosecuted the African way. Seko Traore and Emperor Haile Selassie prophetically said that the failure to unite the African continent will give rise to the neo-colonialism, and that African continent will perish. The revolutionary Pan-Africanist ideological and political diagnosis of the future was correct. The future is here. 50 years later, We know that we remain visitors in our own continent. We know that our resources benefit Euro-American than our own people. This is despite most African countries gaining independence from colonial rule since 1957. Massive, huge tracts of land, our mineral resources, our animals, our oceans are still owned and controlled by the colonial masters. There are no countries in the entire African continent that have gained full economic emancipation and independence. And this includes Ghana, which was the first to lead the road. Till to date, it can't claim that Africans in Ghana own the means of production. A 2016 report titled The New Colonialism reveals that there are 101 British companies listed on the London Stock Exchange that control an identified $1.5 trillion worth of resources in Africa in just 5 commodities: oil, gold, diamond, coal, and platinum. This is a very conservative figure since it includes resources listed by only some companies. Many companies do not provide the figures of the resources they control. And majority of these companies that do not tell us what they control and what they own in Africa are found in DRC, because they are the ones who fuel the divisions in DRC. They are the ones who fuel the fight in DRC, and they are stealing the resources of DRC because they know there is no proper accountability for such resources. The War on Want report on neocolonialism further illustrates that the fact that these 101 companies control and own the following key resources on our continent: 6.6 billion barrels of oil, currently worth $276 billion. They control 79.5 million ounces of gold, worth $119 billion. They control 699.3 million carats of diamonds, worth $134 billion. 3.6 billion tons of coal, worth $216 billion. 287 million ounces of platinum, worth $305 billion. These are the numbers that reflect British neocolonialism in the African continent.
You've seen it for yourself that the impact of Traore's action and Malema's support is not limited to politics. It has potential implications on the development of Africa. Understanding these consequences is crucial to grasping the full scope of this incident. In conclusion, the convergence of politics and sports often leads to complex discussions. Julius Malema's support for Ibrahim Traore sheds light on the interconnectedness of global events. What are your thoughts on this matter? Please do what to hit the comment section and drop your thoughts. Let's get to know what your thinking is. If you found this video informative, don't forget to give a thumbs up and share with your friends. Subscribe to the content, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you for watching.